What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and I'm coming to you again this evening with another wonderful guest, Pro Strongman and USS 2021 National Champ, Jonathan Lester. What's up, John? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just got done with a workout a little bit ago, so just kind of relaxing and getting ready for bed, actually.
Nice. What were you working on today?
Today, since I tore my bicep, I've been doing a lot of single arm stuff. I was with Gabe Pena for a while, and I just switched to Jacob Finnert. I really want to take my press to the next level, and who better than world record block presser?
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, two exceptional guys. Both have been on the show. I love them both a lot. Jacob's got quite a stable going now with you, Nadia, Tim Buck. Like he's got a lot of incredible athletes under him. And as you say, still world record holder in the natural stone press, as far as I'm aware, right? So quite a guy to learn from.
Yeah, and he retook the block press after Marcus Crowder took it from him.
Did he
really?
In
the same weekend. It was insane.
Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, how long have you been with Jacob?
I think just around 6 weeks. I started talking to him, and then literally that Sunday, I started talking to him on a Friday, and a Sunday I tore my bicep, told him it was going to be a few weeks. I got started immediately after surgery. I tore my bicep on a Sunday. That following Tuesday, I had surgery. That following Friday is when I started.
Yeah, so talk about that story. What happened
5-6 weeks ago? So I was actually trying to do the online qualifier for the OSG because I ended up hurting my bicep at the regional qualifier in North Carolina. So I figured let's just do the online qualifier. I didn't place top 10 last year because I hurt my knee. Just one thing after another. OSG is kind of like my curse. Me and my friend joke around about it. But I tore my bicep attempting a 450-pound sandbag shoulder. Me and Nico, I can't pronounce his last name. Greek Goliath, his Instagram handle.
Okay, cool.
But I was trying to beat his sandbag to shoulder. I got a 400 pounds to shoulder, super easy, super smooth. I wish I would have recorded it. And then I went for it, and about where you roll it onto your knee is about where my bicep decided to go. Felt like Velcro tearing. It was scary.
Must have been painful.
It actually was not painful at all. I had no pain. I took no painkillers before. I took no painkillers after. They gave me a prescription for it. It's still sitting on the counter and open. I did take the anti-inflammatory that they gave me. But I got back to work immediately. I've been doing a lot of single arm stuff. Just the other day, I hit a 200-pound circus belt shoulder, and I hadn't hit that. And I don't think I've touched a circus belt in 2 years.
Wow.
So I was pretty happy with that. I just did javelin press tonight. I hit a 200-pound javelin press.
Nice.
I've had to redo a few things in the garage to, sustain my single armness for a little while. I'm not allowed to do like individual bicep curls with the arm till at least January.
Okay. Well, hey, better safe than sorry. I mean, you do what you got to do. So speaking of, you went from Gabe Pena to Jacob Finnert. Are you trying to round yourself out? So you start off mastering the deadlift and then go off to pressing?
Well, my deadlift has improved. This past January, whenever I got my pro, I actually hit a 950 deadlift from the floor. Well, 950, 18-inch, sorry. I've hit an 800 from the floor under Gabe. I just felt that my main goal isn't world's strongest man like most people think. My main goal is world log lift championships.
Nice.
That's my ultimate goal since I started Strongman 5 years ago. Be 5 years, actually, sometime this month. So that's my ultimate goal. Talking to Jacob, he says he wants to beat the world record, and then he wants to train the next person to beat the world record. I want to beat him to it.
That's one thing with Jacob. He's always giving back.
So, but, my deadlift has improved. It's definitely gone down since I can't use an arm, and that strap, it does something to my back that just fries me for a few days.
Yeah.
So deadlift is starting to come back slowly and surely, but I'm going to go real slow into this because I had a scare the other day, thought I retore my bicep. went to the doctor, got an x-ray, and they said, you're fine. So I was like, all right, time to take a step back and stop going heavier. Me and Jacob talked. He wants me to start focusing on speed more. Okay. So I started doing more cardio outside in the morning. I started with Nathan Payton back in March to get my nutrition in check. Honestly, I have never felt better. At 390 pounds, I haven't felt this good in a long time. I was 550 my biggest, 285 my smallest in the sport, in powerlifting and strongman. So right now at 390, I feel better than I did at 285. And I definitely feel better than I did at 550.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting you bring up Nathan Payton. Of course, he has an illustrious reputation. Talk about, without giving away his secret sauce, of course, talk about maybe a couple of techniques he's giving you or guidance that really have turned things around.
Rice Krispie treats immediately before workout. That is his big thing. He posts all the time. We saw him at the Arnold, me and my wife, we went this year. And he had a carry-on luggage full of giant Rice Krispie treats. He's like, on day one of the thing, he's like, it's half gone, just because his athletes were competing and he brought them for him. That consistency, 2.5 to 3 hours, never full, never hungry. We've been together about a year, coming up on a year, and I'm definitely going to renew. So he's a great person to talk to, full of knowledge, probably one of the most knowledgeable nutritionists I've ever met, and I've gone through a bunch over the years, just trying to find the right one. And then I came across him and during Strongman, and he was just, he's probably the nicest person in Strongman to me.
I was going to ask you that. Is he more like drill sergeant or is he more like nurturing personality?
Nurturing for sure.
Yeah.
He's not scared to tell you, hey, you need to do the right thing. You need to tell me if you go off diet, and I'm 100% up front. If I tell him, I'm like, hey, I decided to have a cheat meal on Wednesday, because typically it's one cheat meal a week, sometimes two. It just depends on what I'm getting ready for. So I know getting ready for the North Carolina meet, I was going on 3 or 4 cheat meals a week. But it's strict right onto it, eat my meat, rice, vegetables, meat, rice, fruit, before bed. It's awesome. So there's a huge list, probably 15 different proteins, 20 different carbs, every list of fruit you can think of. And it's just like you get to pick and choose exactly what you want. So I love the diet. It's super easy to stick to. I went to culinary school so I could make anything taste good.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I went to Le Cordon Bleu back in, 2008, 2009.
Okay.
Decided to do my thing and become a chef. And I worked at a country club for a couple of years, but working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day takes its toll.
I'm sure it does. I got to hit you up for some recipes someday.
Absolutely. Happy to.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to make is baked Alaska, cheesecake stuffed strawberries, and filet mignon.
Nice. Good choices for sure. Yes. One thing I like to ask everybody I interview is just for people who aren't aware of you, who don't know who you are, what do you feel like is your best accomplishment in Strongman so far? Kind of take a minute to brag about yourself.
I really love hosting Strongman competitions. I'm one of the state chairs here in North Texas. We just appointed Ann Moeller, Eric Garcia, and they're two of the new ones in Texas. We have a Central Texas, a West Texas, Ernie Batson out in El Paso, me in North Texas, and Eric in South Texas towards Houston. I love hosting comps. I'm actually hosting 2023 Nationals, me and my wife.
That's awesome.
So it's definitely, it won't be as fast as this year's. I don't like super fast comps, but it's going to be fun. We have a balloon artist coming out. I'm going to have a candy table for athletes. We're going to have breakfast for athletes. We have a huge balloon wall. It's going to be like a 10-foot by 15-foot American flag balloon wall.
Sweet.
We even got them to make us a strongman, strongwoman set up for pictures. We're going to have photo booths around the area. We're going to have vendors galore. We have a lot of vendors already on board, a lot of people donating. We got Ice Shaker on. They're going to give all of our first, second, and third place people cups, ice shakers. Geez, we already have belts. So I'm actually most proud of the belt for nationals. It's a Texas belt buckle with a single strap, just like you would see on a cowboy.
Oh, sweet.
I got to design the whole thing. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's, hosting comps is my favorite thing about Strongman, because I've made so many connections, so many friends. My best friends, they live in Lubbock. I don't get to see them that often. They're 5 hours away. But, I've made my best friends through this sport. I still have a few friends from high school that I talk to, but the sport is where my heart is. So I love hosting comps, and I actually love making the trophies too. I've made most of the trophies for all my comps.
Oh, you make them yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I made, here, let me grab it real quick.
Yeah.
This is one of the first ones I made. I made a little yoke.
Oh, that's sweet. So you're a chef by trade and a fabricator by trade too?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know who David Accardo is. He owns Sticks and Stones. So during the height of the pandemic, he actually helped me stay afloat. My wife lost her job, so I started making Atlas stones and concrete weight plates.
Oh, sweet.
And we actually did really well at it. So we were actually able to keep our house and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great.
So it was a rough and scary time with having two kids. I do my online programming, which wasn't enough. My wife is the real breadwinner. Luckily, she works for Red Robin now, so she loves her job. But I love making stuff. Every day I have to do something. So I have to tinker with something, do something to keep busy. So, last summer we had a pool installed, so I built a deck. And then I covered up an Atlas stone crack in the slab that I accidentally did a couple years ago with another deck. We had turf installed in the backyard. It's just the little things. I don't mind replacing the fence. I don't mind. I like owning a house. I've insulated my entire garage myself, so.
That's sweet. I think we're kind of kindred spirits that way. For me, I have a desk job, right? So it hits me in the summertime. I always want to go build something in the summer. And it happened like during this world situation we had where we were locked down in the house. And I also have two small kids, right? So I thought, what can I do to make the house fun for them? So I built an outdoor movie theater outside for them.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago, right? And then last year I built the fire pit. And then this year I built a bocce ball court in the backyard.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I got to send you some photos one of these days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, if you're ever up this way in New Jersey, come by for a movie and a game. I think we'll have some fun.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's like that. I want to get out in the fresh air, build something that you look at and you're like, I built that myself and it turned out nice, Yeah. You get a good feeling from things like that. So how'd you first get into Strongman? I want to know the origin story. So
at the time, just before Strongman, I was really heavy into powerlifting. I actually did IPL Worlds #1. So me and two other guys were the only guys over. I don't even remember the weight classes, to be honest. It's been so long. So I was switching to geared lifting. So I had my suit and my briefs on, and I was squatting. But we were doing we were real heavy into the West Side routine at the time. So we had double looped blacks, double looped blues, and 800-pound bar weight. So I'm squatting to a high box, and I'm coming off the box, and my back locked up. Well, they helped me up, and then we racked my thumb in the monolift. Almost lost my thumb. Yeah, I almost lost it. It was almost gone forever.
Holy crap.
But my back was locked. I was down for 6 months. I was bedridden for nearly 4.5 weeks.
My God.
It was bad. And then rolling out of bed one day, I sneezed. 1 foot on the floor, one hand on the bed, one knee on the bed, and I sneezed. My back locked up again. I was down for another 2 weeks after that. And then after that, I'd gone back to ungeared lifting, doing it raw. I'd met Scott Brockelman. He was a Strongman Corp state chair here for a while in Texas. I don't know if he still does it anymore. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but he told me I should try Strongman. To be honest, I had never even thought about it. I didn't even know how to get into it. Starting Strongman was a huge factor in helping me get into Strongman because I know nothing about it.
Yep.
So he pointed me in that direction, and I got on there, learned everything I could, started programming for myself, doing all that fun stuff, bought kegs. I still remember my first yoke. that I made. It was those 55-gallon drums, and I drilled a hole in the bottom of them, and I put them over some of the, the stop sign square tubing. I did that, and I put a black iron pipe with a fence post on, and I load concrete bags into it and run yoke in my backyard.
Sweet.
So, I mean, it got me interested, and then I started training for Texas Strongest Man. And as a newbie, I was super scared to do it. I was like, I'm going to embarrass myself. This is how it's going to go. So I ended up doing a novice-only comp. I went 5 for 5, ended up winning the comp. And then right after that, went into the CAS Classic #1 against Jake Fincher, who just got his invite to OSG, by the way. I'm so happy to see him back. Good buddy of mine.
He's a good guy.
So he ended up whipping my butt. But, I took second. I was happy with that. Took second place against who is now a pro. He got his pro card 3 months after that at the Arnold. So, haven't really looked back since. I don't have an interest in strongman anymore or powerlifting anymore. I might dabble in it again eventually. But, I mean, so far, strongman's where it's at, where my heart is fully.
So what was that first event that got your attention? Was it yoke?
To be honest, it was Atlas Stones. It's always Atlas Stones. Everyone loves seeing it. I personally do not like them anymore. I'm an overhead press guy. But, I've gotten a 450 stone to a 48-inch platform. Not very easy. It took me forever to do it. I mean, I worked on it for 3 years and finally did it. It was kind of like my log. It took me – I went from a 395-pound log, and it took me 2.5 years to get 400. And then another year to break 400. So now I'm right around 430 pounds.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to bounce back and at least recover from the bicep and be able to press that again soon.
Yep. Sweet. So did you always live in Texas? You grew up there?
Born in Oklahoma.
Okay.
But I moved here when I was like 6 or 7. So I've been in Texas nearly my whole life. My wife's from here. Most of my friends were all born and raised in Texas, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it's a huge state, almost its own kind of country, but for people that have never been to Texas or your area of Texas, what do you say is the best thing about it cultural-wise?
Oh, man. Nothing. I gotta be honest. I mean, the barbecue, every area is different. So, I don't bring politics in anything, but in Dallas, you have, the conservatives, and in Fort Worth, you have the right wing, left wing. It's different everywhere. Everyone's kind of a crazy driver here too. I mean, Austin, I love Austin. They have my favorite ice cream, Amy's Ice Cream. If you're ever in Austin, check it out. I promise you won't regret it. I've driven 4 hours just to go get the ice cream and drive home.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow. That's crazy.
There's so many strongman gyms popping up, powerlifting gyms popping up around the area now. I've seen a significant trend in people working out in the local area. My neighbor across the street saw me working out. I just saw him build an entire rack and put an entire gym in his garage.
Sweet.
I was like, you could have just come over here and work out, but everyone in my area is super nice. My son's made a lot of friends. He just started football, 8th grade year. My son has worked out in this garage. He pulled 400 pounds in this garage, and he's
nice.
He's 13 years old.
That's amazing. Wow.
The barbecue. That's what I would say is the best thing about Texas right now.
Yeah.
It's been a little crazy, but
Man, congrats to him. I'm 46 years old and I never pulled 400 pounds.
He's like almost 6 foot tall already at 13.
Wow.
And he's like 230 pounds. So he's definitely, I love my son to death. And I'm sorry, LJ, if you're watching this. He is not built for football. He is built for lifting. Yeah. And I honestly believe it. He is a deadlifter. He can't press like me, which is weird because he has short arms and a long torso, but he can deadlift whatever. He's definitely going to be a thrower, a shot put, discus thrower.
Yeah.
He loves doing that. He really loves. He doesn't have the aggression to play football very well. He does really good. but he has the aggression to do shot put discus.
Yeah,
So,
those are fun. I dabbled in them a little bit in high school. Not that I was very good, but I found javelin to be the most technically difficult of the three.
oh yeah, I couldn't do javelin. Nope. Or hammer. Hammer was rough.
I never
kept
tried
slamming
hammer.
right into the ground right next to me. I'm like, heel toe, just let me
Oh,
throw
really?
it. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, kind of going back to your childhood a little bit, I want to rewind. Did you have a hero growing up, and has that changed today?
Reggie White. I am a
go.
Packer fan. I'm a diehard Packer fan. And I don't even know why. My mom was a Minnesota fan. And my dad is a Cowboys fan. I think the first time I ever watched football was in the '97 Super Bowl when they were playing the Patriots. And I was like, whoever wins, I'm going to be a fan.
All right.
I was 7 at the time, 8 at the time. And they were playing on my birthday because Super Bowl's right around my birthday. I was born February 2nd. So the Super Bowl this year is February 13th, and we'll be there in Vegas the week before.
Nice.
But yeah, Reggie White was definitely a hero of mine. And Chris Farley.
All right.
I know he's a comedian, but still. Yeah, but Reggie White's number one. Always been number one. I watched his game tapes when I was growing up just to figure out how to play defense. Just like I watched Z. I learned how to press from Cedrunas and Rob Kearney.
Okay.
I still go through the checklist that they did. I've watched Kearney press a million times more than I have Big Z, to be honest. And I love and he's put out videos, instructional videos, and just that's how I learned to press. That's how I learned to play football from a childhood hero.
Good stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's a great role model for sure. Speaking of Rob, it's funny, like, for as good of a presser as he is, the thing that has always stuck to me is when I saw him training yoke one time. I'm like, if I ever want to learn yoke, that's the guy I'm learning from. Like, his technique is incredible. He was training with Martins in this particular video and just blowing Martins. And Martins is Martins, and he was blowing him away. It's like, it's like that. Rob is the guy I want to learn yoke from for sure.
Oh, yeah. He's got that good leverage. Keeps his feet close. Most people like to start wide, but the first thing to do is you're going to bring your feet in whenever you take a step. So you get off balance doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think people have never done it before, and I've never done it before. I've just talked to a lot of people who have. Like, they don't realize the different pieces of technique that go into it, the breathing or lack thereof. If it's a short course, you kind of hold your breath a little bit. The hand positioning, all that. So speaking of that, first of all, how high off the ground do you like your yoke? Do you like clearance or do you like
I love clearance because I like to take off fast.
Okay.
So I don't want it to drag the ground. So I made that mistake at OSG last year with the car. I forgot how long the car is, right? So the back wheels kept touching, and when the tires bounce, they're going to bounce you forward. So it kept going back and forth. And on that last pickup and 2 steps, I stepped over my right foot with my left foot, and that's when my knee gave out. I couldn't walk on it the next day. So it was pretty brutal. And get this, we went to Disney for a week right after.
Did you really?
Yeah. I walked on it for 2 days before I got a scooter because they didn't have any.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Disney World or Land?
I'm sorry?
Disney World or Land?
Disney World.
Florida, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because we were we were in Orlando anyway.
Okay.
For OSG. Okay. So, yeah, my wife's been back once, and we're actually going back for the Halloween one.
Oh, nice.
October.
That'll be fun.
So my son has his football games. He wants to stay for that. He didn't want to go. So Grandma and Grandpa are keeping him, and we're taking our 4-year-old. 4-year-old. Yep, she's 4 now.
Sweet. Yeah, we just went on vacation. We took the kids to Busch Gardens in Virginia, which is my favorite park. It's beautiful there. And then we did Hershey Park this past weekend. But
nice. Yeah, I went there. Episode 1 of Star Wars came out. That was the last time I saw my grandparents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they took me to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, and the Crayola factory in New York, I think.
That's in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have family near there, so I know Crayola's there. Yeah, but Hershey's awesome, but it was just way too many people. I went on Labor Day weekend. They said they got 33,000 people that day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. But, yeah, so good stuff. What else was I thinking about? I mean, you brought up OSG and that car walk. So I didn't realize you had hurt your knee. So there was kind of a, not to bring up a sore spot, but kind of a difference in your performance in USS Nationals and OSG in that same year. So I guess that's why, right? You had an injury going, but kind of compare the events. Like, which contest did you like better and why?
You know what? I really liked OSG. A car yoke is just awesome. That's why I signed up for that OSG regional, because it was a whiskey barrel yoke.
Okay.
You don't get to do cool events like that very often.
Yep.
So I was like, definitely a car yoke. Log is right up my alley. I did pretty good. Made a few small little errors and didn't breathe in certain spots, so I lost my breath and had to sit the log down. I felt good about the events. Granted, it took me 40 seconds to finish the car yoke, but the rest of the events, I feel like I could have smashed, really. This year broke my heart whenever he released the events, because those are all great events for me.
Yeah.
Especially a Viking press. I have a Viking press in my backyard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen your Instagram.
So there was that. Farmers is one of my better events too. I was going to do the Shaw qualifier, but decided to focus on OSG qualifier. Mm-hmm. And I had 425 a hand recorded and ready to go for the Shaw qualifier. My downfall is always going to be my deadlift. Those guys were pulling, I don't even remember what Austin Andrade pulled, but I think it was like 850 for a triple. I would have been okay with 750 for a triple. So that definitely would have bumped me down the line, but my log, it's pretty good. I like to think anyway.
Yeah.
But, OSG was definitely the funner of the events, because going back and forth between an axle and a log sucks. If I could get 3 reps on one and 3 reps on another and then swap, that would have been fine. But yeah, going back and forth is a gasser. Most people don't realize it, but man, going back and forth between 2 different implements it gasses you so much faster. Because here at home I got 10 reps going back and forth, but there I think I only got 6.
Okay.
So nerves play a big part of that too. I'm pretty sure that's, if I weren't to pick OSG, it would have been the nerves. All day on Nationals Day, I didn't even look at the score. I had no clue how I did compared to everyone else. And that last event happened, and I kind of felt good, like I did really good. And I had no clue that I had won the super heavyweight plus until they called my name.
Nice.
So that was the best part about that. But OSG, the events were a lot more fun looking, and those stones were really sweet. Red stones, come on.
So at USS, they had you going back and forth between log and axle, you said?
Yeah, that was the event. 1 rep on log, 1 rep on axle, back and forth until time expires.
The technique is so different too, though, like switching back and forth so many times.
Yeah, if it were a keg press and a log press, that would have been perfect, because it would have been similar, and I'm much better at keg press than I am anything. I've gotten a 350 keg in the backyard that I pressed. So I don't hold it. I go straight from the ground overhead. I can't hold something like that on my chest. It's hard.
Okay. You Viper a keg? I don't think I've seen that before. Nice. So another thing I was wondering too is, like, in all the contests you've been in, you have a favorite person to compete against, either because you're just real friendly with them, or because they bring the best out of you?
Man, I got to say Nico. Even though we haven't competed since 2021 against each other, I still feel the need that I need to beat him at everything. Just like he has the need to beat me or Jacob, pretty much everyone. He is definitely my arch rival, but we get along. It's not like powerlifting where everyone dislikes each other. We know what goes into this. He knows what goes into it. He knows I'm working just as hard as he is. Unfortunately, the cards didn't go in my favor this year for OSG, or else we would have had a good rematch. So, I mean, at some point down the road, me and him are definitely going to butt heads again. He is definitely someone that I watch closely and really pushes me to push hard.
Sweet. Some or many strongmen have a day job in addition to strongman. Is that your situation as well?
So actually, no. I was a stay-at-home dad for a while. Right now, I have about 10 athletes under me that I write programming for. One of them is actually competing at OSG this year, her first year. She's only been in the sport a year and a half.
Oh, what's her name?
Chelsea Morgan.
Okay.
She won the OSG regional here in Houston, in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely gotten better. She posted a thing today that said that she couldn't get 315 for a squat a year ago. She got it barely for a single. Today she got it for 5. You know, at the OSG regional, she couldn't shoulder a 200-pound bag. She just shouldered a 220-pound bag for 3. So she is definitely stepping up and really hitting the ground running with this OSG thing. She is super nervous because she gets to go against some of the best in the world. I mean, Nadia's in her class, and Nadia's no joke.
Chelsea's no joke either. She's actually been on the show before, so it's interesting to see that you're working with her. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's my wife's best friend, and she's my best friend.
Okay.
I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't talk to each other.
Yeah, she's Mighty Mouse something on IG, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely nervous, and she's still learning the Viking press. So a little bit of trial and error there. Mm-hmm. I actually had to get her a Viking press attachment and send it to her. I was like, you can't just keep pressing a log or an axle. I was like, here, I'm sending this to you right now.
Damn. How do you, what kind of shipping does it cost to send a Viking press to somebody?
Well, we sent the attachment for the barbell.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and ordered it on Amazon or wherever. My wife's the one that ordered it. Yeah. I paid for it.
Oh my goodness. So in addition to Strongman, I mean, you talked about your cooking background. What other hobbies do you have that you enjoy doing when you're not training?
Man, I love playing with my daughter. She's only 4. And, you know, my son's younger years blew by. I mean, he's 13 now. And it feels like just yesterday. We tried for 6 years after our son was born to have another, but she kept having complications and all that. I mean, she had to have 2 emergency C-sections with both kids. Okay. And then my daughter spent like 16 days in the NICU after she was born. So, but it's spending time with her, really. I love working on the garage. Right now, we're in talks with getting like 10,000 kilos worth of weight plates and maybe starting an LLC.
Sweet.
I'm in talks with a manufacturer in China. I know, China, sorry. But whenever you can get weight plates for 25 cents a kilo, at 10,000 kilos, what is that? That's $25,000, 10,000 kilos.
Is it really 25 cents a kilo? That's amazing. These days,
and
especially.
I'm probably getting dumbbells for like 15 cents a pound. Like, it's insane.
Wow.
It's just, and then you look at people like Rogue, they're charging $3 per, calibrated weight plates. I'm getting them for 50 cents.
Yeah, no, I mean, because steel prices have gone up a lot, so it's amazing you can get that.
Yeah, but that's still in the air. Don't know. I really wanted to open up my own gym for a long time, but like you said, the price of steel has gone up, and anywhere around here that wants to sell me real estate property to lease, they want nearly $25 per square foot.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? $25? So like, at least you're making something without being empty. I just don't understand it sometimes, but
yeah. That's
but yeah, that, I mean, I used to make Atlas stones just for fun. I actually paint Atlas stones out in my front yard. I have, Monsters Inc. I have a Jack Skellington. I have the Mario Ghost.
Sweet.
I love doing all kinds of stuff like that. I do my home renovations to an extent. I'm not about to replace the front door because I don't know how. Like, I can replace front door, but they're having to make a custom door for our front door.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Atlas stones can be fun. We had Tampa Atlas stones on here one time, and they've done some pretty cool creations.
Oh yeah, I talk to them all the time. They send me the pictures of Atlas stones they're painting, and they just got done with a Georgia Bulldog when they sent me. I was like, man, that's awesome.
It's funny, like I almost like the acid treatments they do better than the paint jobs.
Yes, I looked that up too because I was going to do it to one out front.
Yeah, like the marbling that they do. It's really, really nice. But that's cool. So you got a lot of interesting things in your future. Anything else you want to bring up in terms of? I know we're waiting for some healing to happen before we start thinking about more shows. But any other exciting things coming up in your future, or if not, you can tell people how they can follow you, and maybe we wrap it all up.
I'm hoping to compete in Finland next year. I'm actually going to look more at international shows for the future. I'd really love to compete at the Magnus Classic, just to be able to touch one of those logs. I don't know if you've seen those logs that he's had made.
Okay, so you just mentioned my favorite show of all time.
Oh.
I don't know if you know, and we had Magnus on. I told him so. I don't know if he thought I was blowing smoke up his ass, but that's my favorite show of all time because, like I tell people, I've never competed, but I like hiking on trails, finding stones and logs to lift. Like I like the nature aspect of it, and it looked like he just pulled everything out of the woods. It was like awesome. Like these stones that we just grabbed from over there, where we have like an icy waterfall behind us. It was just so different from every other show, where kind of the natural elements were really brought into it. That for me was really my favorite.
Yeah. It looked. That hand carved log that he has that's so ornate is like the dream. Like if I could make something like that, I 100% would. Yep. I'd cut down a tree in my backyard and store the log until it's dry enough and do it. My wife might kill me, but
It's funny. So I got to tell you this story now that you mentioned that. You keep reminding me of similar stories. So I was going to get a log, right? So I started looking into some of the big manufacturers, and they're not cheap, but more so the shipping's not cheap because they weigh so much, right? So I thought, well, let me go to try to find something in the woods. Like I don't need a 400-pound log. I'm not lifting that much, right? So I'll find something in the woods, like you say, let it dry out in the garage, sand it down. So it's taken me forever, like months and months. I get to it little by little, but I'm getting there, right? So I go to the nature preserve, and I had gone hiking on this particular trail a bunch of times. And I go to the office and I say, hey, I was wondering, I'm into Strongman. Is it all right if I go take one of your logs that you already have cut down? It's just been laying there for 6 months. And they're like, what's Strongman? I said, forget I said anything. And I just went and took it anyway. So that one's sitting in the garage drying.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember my first log. It was 9 4x4s. I don't know if you've ever seen the instructional video.
No.
But yeah, it's 9 4x4s all screwed together, cut up so I could put my hands in it. Clear, my hands were way too big. But literally, you just make it, glue them all together, screw them all together, and then you cut diagonally and make it in a octagon. Make it an octagon.
Okay.
And that was my first log.
Oh, sweet.
I was not anywhere near what I'm at right now. We were like super, super, super poor. And my first farmer's carries were Lowe's buckets with 50-pound sand in them so I could carry them.
Nice.
And then I found, hey, look, there's DIY everything for Strongman. So I started making all my own stuff. And then, once I started writing programming and working, and whenever she was working, we just started replacing everything slowly. Now I got a wall full of bars. I have, a dozen pairs of 18-inch Arsenal wagon wheels on the way, sometime in February for nationals.
Wow.
11 more Arsenal the axles, knurled axles coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully I can purchase just a ton of weights and then sell some of my deep dish plates and replace them with some calibrated plates. And just everything. Yeah, I got 5 logs now, all the sandbags I can carry. I have pretty much everything now. I got 15 kegs in the backyard.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember when I started, we actually rented the house next door. And we started with a 300-pound weight set and a cap barbell. And that's how I started. Now I got everything.
Back when you were a kid, though, did you ever catch yourself lifting weird stuff?
Yeah, lifted everything. Think about it, and ran around with the wood things that were stuck in the ground like swords. But
yeah, you think back to it now, and you're like, it all makes sense now. It was always inside me.
Yeah. I didn't lift weights until I was a 7th grader in middle school. That was the first time I ever touched weights. And looking back at it now, I realize my coaches had no clue what they were doing.
Yeah, that's funny because I was an only child. So growing up, I had my little bench set too, but I just preferred pushing my dad's car up and down the driveway. I always liked the unique stuff,
Yeah, my dad had a 5-speed 5.0, and the battery always died, so we'd have to push start it every day. So that was the one thing I did every morning before I left for school to ride my bike to school. We would push start his car.
Oh my God. Well, Mustang GT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, an old, like, mid-'90s model, early '90s model.
I had a 1990 was my first car, but it was automatic. But yeah, I had the same one. Great car. Not great in the snow or the rain, but
yeah, that's why he lived in Texas. So
man, no, we get all 4 seasons up here in Jersey. I had to put, like, speaking of sandbags, I wasn't doing strongman. I was putting them in the hatchback to keep the car from spinning around.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, luckily, I mean, whenever it snows here, it melts the next day and then it turns to ice. Everyone makes fun of us, but they don't realize it's ice. It's not snow anymore. It melts and then the roads completely freeze over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I always have a bag of sand in the back of the truck because I definitely need a bag of sand in the back of the truck. Shogging up. I just pre-ordered a Cybertruck the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we decided to pull the trigger. I mean, it gets like 600 miles. So I figured it's better than filling up the tank and getting 200 miles on the truck that I have now.
Yeah, I've been really keeping my eye on the Rivian, so it's I'm looking electric too.
I'll let you know. You can come down and drive it.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it should. I think they're going to call us towards the end of the year.
Okay.
And then we get to decide on all the features because they got rid of the single engine. Now it's double tri or quad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's going to cost more now, though, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I'm sure
still costs less than my truck outside.
Does it really?
Yeah, we traded in my other truck for this one, and that was right there at the height whenever they weren't getting microchips.
Mm-hmm.
Due to the shipping issues and all that. So prices skyrocketed. As soon as I drove it off the lot, it increased in value by $5,000. It usually decreases in value by $10,000.
What are you driving now?
2019 GMC Denali.
Okay.
Sierra.
But yeah, if you're looking at this the Cybertruck, I have a friend. They have a Model 3 and a Model Y in the family, and he told me the trick is you just you can program it for when to charge. And so you just have it charge overnight when the electric bills go down like to 10% of what they are during the day. And he's like, you pay next to nothing. He's like, I'm paying 2 cents an hour for electric or something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Yeah. So like unless you're going on real far trips, like you can gain even more efficiency by just charging overnight at home.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's we've deviated a little bit on our storytelling, but it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, I mean, I've had a great discussion, John. Anything else you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's about it. Just no.
Cool. So if people want to follow you, what's the best way to follow you?
Instagram. I don't even know my Instagram handle. At Big Bad John Pro Strongman _Pro Strongman. You can also hit me up on Facebook, Jonathan Lester. I allow everyone. You can follow my Nationals page. I have a Nationals page on Instagram, USS Nationals 2023, as well as an event on Facebook, USS Nationals 2023. That's how you get a hold of me. My number is on Iron Podium as well. If anybody ever wants to email me, text me, any questions about programming, I don't charge a whole lot because I don't see the value in it because I like to do as much as I can for the sport while I can. So, I mean, I'm pretty fair on pricing that wise, or I'll just help you out free.
Fantastic. I'll be sure to funnel all my friends your way. And Nationals, do they stream that at all? Can anybody watch it?
We will be streaming it, yes. It'll be 6 separate live streams, and you can purchase it all for one cost. We won't be using ADO Live.
Okay.
They seem to be really, really busy with Clash recently, and they've really taken off with Clash and Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
They did a phenomenal job with Brian Shaw's show.
Yeah.
I loved
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, it was such a good show. So that I don't know the name of it yet. We haven't finalized anything yet with them. They're gonna sit with us and show us some of their old live streams. They actually live streamed last minute nationals, Strongman Corp nationals, last year.
Okay.
They were notified like 3 days before Strongman Corp nationals, and they showed up and live streamed the whole thing. So it's the same guys working on pricing and stuff like that right now, and then we're gonna get contracts done. So yeah.
Yeah, when you have that info, shoot it over. I'll be sure to spread it around.
Okay, we'll do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, John, I had an awesome evening. We definitely got to get together again sometime in the future. And other than that, have a great night.
Absolutely, you too.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. And as always, ciao, homie.